Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are back over in Belsize Park today. We're carrying on with this little rewire which we've got going on here. Tom's down on the staircase, you'll see him in a second, just doing the wiring for the lights down in the basement. And it's going well, we've literally just arrived. It's gone sort of 2 o'clock, but we've just been doing wholesaler runs and stuff all morning. So I've got a big pile of stuff here which we've just literally bought in. So cable, you know, all the whatnots. And we're actually, some of this is going over to Axel, but just to save room on the van, we just put it all here for a second. So that's all come in. The new double glazing, that's all gone in. That went in today. So that's all looking nice. It's all literally just gone in today. I don't know if, I think they've got a bit of work to do around the frames actually. But anyway, that's all gone in. Somebody else is dealing with all that. And while I was at the wholesaler earlier, actually, we had to pick up the emergency lights and stuff for in here because we're almost ready to start second fixing. Well, upstairs anyway, downstairs we haven't started yet, but the upstairs we're almost ready. But I had to pick up these emergency lights. And these are the ones that we're using. It's, you know, it's a normal light fitting, so it's just got a normal switch wire facility on and off. But normally they're a 3-hour battery backup, but these particular light fittings have got 24-hour runtime. But of course it's LED, isn't it? So, you know, they're so efficient. And they weigh nothing. In the old days, when you thought of like emergency lights, you know, even when I was, you know, started working for myself like 10 years ago, it used to have like the big D-cell, you know, rechargeable NiCads, you know, and you had like 6 of them in a light fitting. But nowadays, I mean, it's incredible how light and just how, you know, how there's just nothing to it anymore. It's just a series of LEDs, and then you've just got a little battery pack at the back, your green LED, and that's literally it. There's just nothing to it. So I'll review those a little later on, because these are what we're fitting here, because they want quite flush fittings here. So I'll let you know how I get on fitting those. But yeah, they've got a 24-hour runtime. It's, you know, it's when you think, you know, a lot of batteries used to have like a 3-hour runtime at best. But anyway, not a huge amount's changed out here. Oh, there's Tom. Not a huge amount. Hey guys. Dave, his name is. The man is called Dave. Yeah. But not a huge amount has changed out here. This floor is all still up because we've got to move the fuse board back this way. In the communal part, we've got to move it upstairs. So not a lot here has changed as such. This is all still the same. However, one thing, Tom was literally just pulling in, sorry, Dave, the man is called Dave. He was literally pulling in a new switch wire for these staircase lights, for the emergency lights on the staircase. I'm sorry if the light's pretty crap here because we've had to turn all the power off. And he couldn't fish the wire down here. We're wondering why, so we took this bit of board off, and the old banister has just been literally boarded over. So there's the old banister, and I mean, God knows how long that's been there, and they've just literally boarded over it. So it's kind of nice when you see stuff like that. They haven't ripped it out, although there's not a lot of use now. I'm guessing probably something to do with health and safety, I would guess, because a lot of commercial places aren't allowed, you know, this sort of stuff just isn't allowed anymore. So I'm guessing it was something to do with health, I would guess, I don't actually know. But interesting, nonetheless, interesting finds, things you come across in day-to-day work. And then down here, all these lights are coming off the ceiling now because we've got to, these are all coming off and they've got to plaster this ceiling. So I'm literally just going around now taking these all off. That's about it. So we're going to crack on and we'll touch base in a bit. So yeah, I'm currently just going through taking all these old fittings out. And again, to the newcomers, if you're taking out especially things like fluorescent tubes, don't smash them when you take them out because the dust they release is not nice. It really doesn't do your internal organs any good. Right, so we can go upstairs and rip those out in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. So in here, again, we're just fitting the track lighting, same as what we're going to be doing upstairs, and it'll just be an L-shaped track light in here. I think the track lighting came to about, I think for the track lighting upstairs, in the kitchen and down here, I think it was about 30 metres of track lighting and then 30 spots. I think it came to about 500, about 550 quid. So it is more expensive than if I'd have just put, you know, if I'd have just recessed spotlights in here. It is, you know, it's more expensive, but it's a trade-off because track lighting is much quicker to install. You can just literally, I've bought it in 3-metre lengths, and of course with that, you know, it's really, really fast. You can just, especially on here, because we're just bolting it straight to the ceiling. So it is, there's trade-offs. It's more expensive, but then you save time on labour, and especially with, you know, with Dave now, obviously it's important to keep the job moving as quick as possible. So you save on, yeah, it costs you more, but then you save on labour. So I guess it's tit for tat, really. Talking of which, actually, that reminds me. Going back to the cable reels, I was asking people about cable reels, a good one. It seems that everybody, seems to universally like the Racketeer cable reels. So Screwfix actually sell them, so I've just ordered one from them. Wasn't too bad, I know it's 70 quid. So I've ordered it and I'll keep you posted when I get it. It's arriving tomorrow, so we'll see. But I have ordered that. That seems to be the one that everybody was raving about. Some of you are also asking about Dave wanted to do a Q&A or something, which we will do. I've just got to try and figure it out or fit it in somehow. But I am reading the comments, and that seems to be a popular one, so it will happen just in due course, if that makes any sense. Good morning, everybody. It is a Monday morning. Actually, I tell a lie. It's a bank holiday, Monday morning, which in a nutshell means I'm the only silly sod working, because it is absolutely dead and it's about 7:30 in the morning. I'm expecting to see Tom walk up the road. Dave, I'm expecting to see Dave walk up the road, but he isn't here yet, so unless they've cancelled the overground, which is perfectly possible on a Monday. Yeah, it's bank holiday Monday. It is very, very quiet and absolutely no one is out. Not a single car has passed me here this morning. Ah, Tom, just coming around the corner, mate. See you soon. Okay. I wonder if he's brought coffee with him. It's a good job you didn't bring coffee, because we're going to go to McDonald's first.
That sounds very good to me.
Because we're the only silly mother working on a bank holiday Monday.
Exactly. Oh. Trains were clear.
I'm not surprised. We're the only using them.
I think I was the only one on it. How have you been?
All right.
Good weekend?
Mediocre. It was all right.
Still feeling ill?
No, I'm a lot better, but my cold is doing this thing. It's hanging on like by bitter end, and it's hanging on. It's hanging on like that. It won't quite let go. I actually feel all right. I feel 100%. I've just got a cough.
Yeah.
But I feel all right. So.
What do you fancy?
Oh, there you go, mate. I just bacon and egg. Don't get a sausage and egg. It's too heavy for me. Bacon and egg muffin and.
Bacon and egg muffin.
Yeah, bacon and egg muffin with an extra hash brown as well.
All right, double.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Silly questions like that.
Give me a minute, I'll be back.
Yeah, all right, mate. And coffee.
And a coffee.
And coffee.
Latte?
Oh, yeah, please, boss. Cheers, mate. So we've more or less got to the point now where we can start stripping out a lot of this old wiring that was here. Now, the reason we didn't, there's a couple of reasons why, but the main reason that we didn't strip this out at the very beginning was just because some of this was still providing lights for the basement, some of it was still powering the communal lighting upstairs, so on and so forth. So we couldn't just come in and just start hacking it all out at the very beginning of the job. But we've got to the point now where we've wired as much as we can wire without we have to start removing this now. So we've isolated all the fuse boards downstairs now, and I'm just going around now with one of these voltage pens because I have to confirm that this is off. All of our power is off downstairs, but that doesn't still mean that some of this might not be live from next door, because actually I'll show you in a minute. Downstairs there was one socket which was fed from next door, so it does happen. So I'm just going through, just checking now that this is definitely all dead with a little voltage pen. But this here was the voltage pen that I was using. This is the Q-Stick Duo, and it's a really good bit of kit. One of the main reasons I like it is because it's got the dual sensitivity button. So if you're, let's say you're in the back of a light switch or something, and you need to work out exactly, if you've got like 4 or 5 cables, and you need to work out which of them is the live conductor, you can actually just press the dulling mode, and it just dulls it down. It just gives you a more sensitive reading as to which is live and which is just a switch wire or something. But I do put a lot of trust in this, and it's a brilliant bit of kit. Some of the cheaper ones are really quite nasty, and they just tend to go off more or less whenever they feel like. There's no sort of rhyme or reason to it. But this particular one is from Q-Tech, and this is a very good one. I think it's only about 20, 25 quid. They're not mega money, but a fantastic bit of kit to keep in your tool bag.
So this was all the cabling that you saw we took out, so that's all gone. There's still some, I don't know if you can just about see them. They'll come out once the fuse boards downstairs go. But for the time being, that's basically what it looks like now. So it's a far cry better than what it was. And the same again for those ones there. Those will come out once we take the fuse boards out downstairs. But for the time being, I've just left them there. That's a little bit better. So they're now all in. That nest of wires that was here for the lighting, that's all been, well, there are the cables just there. I've just put some capping on so they can dot and dab over all this. And down the stairs we go. And then in here, there's not a huge amount we can do at the moment until they've plastered it and painted it. We can't really put our dado trunking on until they've done that step, and there's quite a lot of repair work which needs doing in here as well. So I think it's going to be another couple of weeks until we're back in this place now. So because they've got to skim it, and I think they might have to tank it or do whatever they've got to do, because I think there's a bit of damp in here as well. So, we've only got, I mean, the lighting here is literally just one wire, which is that one just there, because the track we've got one track going in here, which basically runs in the direction of these lights here, and then it'll just do, I think it's literally just doing an L, there'll be an L bracket there, and it'll just turn, and it'll just go straight down there. So, and over here in this creepy cupboard, which is like the beginning of a murder story or something, there's a light switch on the outside here, and then, well, I don't know, Dave can do that bit in there. I'm not really, yeah, you get the gist. So that's basically about it. The first fix here is more or less, there's still a bit of titivating to do, but I mean, it's essentially more or less there now. The communal fuse board, I haven't moved that up into the communal corridor yet. That will happen, but that'll be, again, I'm going to do that on another video. I'm not busting a nut today to get that in. All right, everybody, we're back. We are back in Belsize Park. I'm playing a juggling game, sort of running between jobs at the moment, which I'll discuss more a little bit later on, but we're here and it's going all right. We've just been putting the track lighting up, which I'll show you now. So this is the track lighting that we're fitting. And I've got to be honest, it's come out really well. I was impressed with how smart it ended up looking, because I was worried at the beginning that it would look a bit commercialized and a little bit, it wouldn't look, I don't know, I was worried that it wouldn't fit in here, but actually it's come out really well. If I stand over here, you might be able to see it a bit better. So it just drops down off the ceiling about 900, I think it's about 800 mil we've done it. And it's come out really well. It looks really smart. Then there's another one which is going to go here, but we've run out of the cantery wire to support it. So we've put that one in, and then on Monday when I come back, we'll put the other one in. So there'll be two of them, but they're 6 meters long each. But they come out really well. Actually, Dave's just mentioned a good point. We've got to cut a single box in up there, and all I was going to do is just put a click connector on it, and then the flex will just tie wrap it to the metal wire here, and it will just go into the fitting here, and that's it. But for the second, we don't have any click connectors, do we? So we've got to use, if we just sink the box in, yeah, and then we can, yeah, we'll just put Wago connectors on it, and we'll just run a bit of flex temper. That'll do for the second until we can get the click connectors. So while fucking Dave, the man is called Dave. So while Dave is cutting that box in, this is actually a 2 meter length of track. The ones we're fitting up there are 3 meters. They're very easy to connect. You've just got the faceplate there, which you take off, and then you've just got a live and neutral and your earth pin connection there, and that's it. So you just have your one switch wire coming into it, and then that powers the entirety of the track. So even if you've got, you know, 10, 20 meters of track in some of the longer installations, it doesn't matter. You just need the one switch wire. So there is a considerable time saving, especially if you were doing, commercial work and lots of track lighting. You could save a lot of time potentially in wiring costs. And these little click-in lights, they're quite smart. I quite liked them. You've basically just got the live and neutral pins on one side, and then the earth pin on the other. But they're quite smart. I was quite impressed with them, and they're so easy, especially if you're doing installations where you're moving lights around. These are brilliant. So these are a doddle, and you literally, you can just put them anywhere on the track. So you just literally push it on, and it just twists in like that, and that's it. And then you can just adjust it as you traditionally would. And then if you want to release it, you just pull the white catch down, and they just twist out again. So they're, for this sort of installation where you want to, because they're thinking it's going to be an art gallery, sewing gallery, something like that. So they can move these, if they have different paintings and stuff. So it's brilliant for that sort of stuff if you want to move lighting. But yeah, they're good little bits of kit. I was quite impressed with those. Okay, so this is the laser line, which we run in, because there's just going to be a 2 meter track in this kitchen. So all I've done, I've just set up this little laser line here. If the ceiling hadn't been painted, you could use like a chalk line, you could use that, but to be honest with you, lasers are just so much quick, they're just so quick and easy. This is the way that I personally prefer to do it. It also means that you can mess around with it, you can move it to find what looks visually correct rather than mathematically correct, if that makes any sense, because sometimes you get into installations where if you mark it out mathematically, it doesn't look right on the eye, so you end up sometimes, a lot of the time I end up putting things in to look visually right rather than mathematically, because at the end of the day what's more important is what your eye sees, not whether it's mathematically right. So I just use a little laser line, and I'm just going to use some plasterboard fixings which are in the other room. So I'm using these little plasterboard fixings from Fisher. They are okay, they're not bad. My only grievance with them is the tips break off on them. But if you go gently into the plasterboard, that doesn't happen. But they're ideal for this sort of installation where you just want to get a reasonable fixing in a single layer of plasterboard. So these are quite good little fixings, I do quite like them. The actual plasterboard screws that come with them, sometimes are a little bit too chunky. So I end up using little 1/2 inch or 1 inch wood screws like this, and then you just put those straight in and they go in beautifully. So that's how I do it. Anyway, let's gas in, let me get this up in the air. There are a couple of people asking, why are you fitting track lighting everywhere? It was actually the customer requested it. I would have just put spots in, but they requested track lighting, so that was what we did. I didn't argue with it. If the customer wants it, the customer has it. That actually leads me on to my next thing. Somebody else left a comment saying, do you ever try to convince customers to do something a certain way if you think it's better? It's a bit of a double-edged answer. I'm not really sure. I tend to find that the customer, I mean, it's the age-old saying, the customer is always right, and they are. That's just how it is. The customer's right. You can't generally argue with a customer. And I tend to find that if I will suggest something, so if a customer says, can I have a socket, can I have a socket there? And I'll say, well, actually, no. Why don't you have it over there? Because it's going to make more sense, if you kettle, toaster, or whatever. If they don't want it and they say no, then I won't raise it again. I've given my suggestion, and if they want to do something else, that's up to them. If a customer wants 6 sockets on the ceiling, as far as I'm concerned, they'll get 6 sockets on the ceiling. I will say no. I think you should do it another way, but I'll only say it once, if that makes any sense. I won't keep repeating myself. All right, everybody, we are done about as far as we can go in here today. Kitchen lights are in. So they've come out quite nicely. I've just turned it on temporarily just so everyone's got some power in here and a bit of light when we work. The old switches, they've all come out. We've dropped them down to 1200. So the plasterer can just bomb that back in now. Same again with the other ones in the hallway here. So this one here again, for some reason they were up high, I don't know why. So we just dropped them down here. And this track here is also on. Sorry, you've got that LED flicker because the lights are on, but there you go. But it's in, they're on. I can't do that track because we've run out of cantry wire. So there you go, we're about done here now. So we're going to head home. It's beautiful weather outside, so I'm going to get on the bike, get on the Ducati for a couple of hours, I think, because the weather is absolutely stunning outside. So we're going to leave you to it. We will be back on Monday, and to finish, I'm going to give you a little bit of cinematic footage. See you later, everybody. Take care.